181.5 pounds.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the Pownal Select Board meeting November 4th at 7 p.m. We need to call to order, approve agenda, approve minutes of October 28th for Sewer Commission meeting, minutes of October 28th for Select Board meeting, warrants, correspondence, AARP grant, Planning Commission board members, salt pricing 2021-22, employee benefits, town hall update, public comment adjourn. Can I entertain a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Approval of minutes of October 28th sewer commission meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes of October 28th select board meeting.
So
Can
moved.
I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Warrants. Accounts payable for 11/5/21. This is for the town hall for $19,943.24. Accounts payable for 11/5/21 for $17,846.60. Can I entertain a motion for accounts payable?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Payroll warrant for 11/5/21 for $12,045.32. Mike, you're in that for your stipend for select board and zoning. Can I entertain a motion?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Abstain.
Staying. Thank you, Mike. Okay. Just so everybody remembers, you can go on our website and the town office and see the accounts payable and the payroll warrants. So I'd like to open up for questions regarding those three. Megan?
There's no one here.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on to correspondence. So I received an email from Wendy Hopkins. She's on the Hoosick River Watershed Association Board. They're very interested in the progress of the cleanup of the racetrack. A couple of her questions is who's the owner? Are the taxes up to date? Could the site be listed as a brownfield and to get federal money for the cleanup? Have we heard anything back from the state of the Division of Safety for the fire?
No, we haven't heard anything back from fire and safety. I'll try to remember to email them tomorrow.
Okay, so I just want
Actually,
to,
you know what? I'm gonna send Rebecca a message right now
okay, so I just want to say that,
to remind me.
all right, the owner is Solo, correct?
Steven Solar,
Solar?
SOLER.
Okay. And as far as I know, the taxes are paid up. I don't know if he's paid this year's yet. Could the site be listed as a brownfield? I don't have the answer to that.
We can look into that.
We can look into
We can
that,
yeah.
absolutely. But people have to remember that this is a privately owned, and we will do whatever we can to work with the owner to help get that cleaned up. And
Say, if I could, just a quick point of clarification.
Sure.
Steve Solaire is not really the owner. He's the manager of the LLC that owns it.
That's
all
true.
right. And do we know the name of the LLC?
I think it's Green Mountain LLC.
I believe it
something
is.
like
I
that.
believe it
Okay.
is.
So there's numerous people involved and we're doing the best we can and we're not going to let it sit. We're just waiting to hear back from the Division of Safety, Fire and Safety from the state.
All right, Rebecca will remind me tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll never remember.
All right. Second is Leonard Cody. He asked again about the chicken or the fowl ordinance. How do we go about doing that? Do we have to add it to the bylaws? Because he really can't do anything about the chickens or the fowls, birds being off of their
I think
property.
we make an ordinance for,
I don't think it goes into the bylaws. I don't think it would go into the zoning bylaws or anything. I think it would be an ordinance like the traffic ordinance. I would have to assume.
And that would have to be like, wait 60 days and somebody could petition it.
yeah.
And then once right?
Right. So I think that's something that we can, we can have Megan look into the legal process, on how to do that.
Okay, so can we put that on our next meeting, please?
Megan, can you look into, what we would need to do for an ordinance on, fowl? Probably, I don't think we have an ordinance on any animals.
I was just gonna say, maybe we ought to look at
We probably should look at all of it because what if someone were to have free range pigs? Because that's a, that is out there. You could have free range beef type things. I
Correct.
know.
Yep.
I know out west they have free range animals. So I think that's something, probably just free range in general, Megan. Could
Right.
you look into that for us, please?
Okay, no problem. I'll work on that tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Megan. Okay, that was it for correspondence.
So were you gonna let Leonard know that we're gonna work on that?
Yes.
Okay.
I told her I was gonna definitely bring it up tonight and
Okay.
that we'll work on it. Okay, the AARP grant, Tim?
Yeah, so Parks and Rec wanted me to bring it to your attention that they would like your approval to apply for an AARP Vermont Winter Placemaking Grant, which is due 11/12 and November 12th. And they're looking to seek funds, which would be about $4,000 if they're successful, to help Margaret Cody with the landscaping at the new town hall, as well as a few other initiatives that they have, including designing and planning workshops at the library during this winter, a seed library, and some benches or other seating.
Okay, I have no problem with that. So moved.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you.
And real quick, if I can add in relation to grants, is we submitted the municipal planning grant
Oh, nice.
on Monday.
Very nice.
That was due the 17th, right? Is that correct?
Is that this? It was due Monday, whatever day it is. I don't know.
Monday was the first. Okay, maybe I guess it was the first.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Then, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, Planning Commission Board members. John Bushy, he sent a letter into everybody. Everybody read it, an email?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to come up, John? Sit. Please.
Didn't we also have a letter of interest for
We did.
We did.
planning commission?
And somebody who's
there's one, yeah.
before.
Oh, did we?
That
We're looking at-
runs, that still is posted until next week.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, we have one more week, correct? Yep. Okay. So John, could you just brief us a little bit on your email? Because I don't have it in front of me.
Basically, it's just a, generalize it, where we have two people who haven't been showing up and consecutively, so, board talked about it, Tuesday and just said that, we're looking at if we can have a approval or if you guys could get those two off the board so we could at least look at someone else, because we're just having, we're just squeaking by right now and keeping a quorum.
So it's a 5 board or a 7? Oh, 9.
Yeah,
The planning commission,
yeah, plenty.
commission of the board.
Right. And it's two are just haven't been showing up at all, so no reasons or anything for not being there. So, I mean, if they want to come back and apply, but as long as they're going to show up, if that's something down the road they want to do, that's fine. But it's just right now, we want to try to get.
So you have one position open, is that correct? So that
Yes,
brings you
a
down
filler.
to 8. So minus the 2 that don't show up, so that means that you have 6 people? Is that correct?
Yes.
Are the 6 people showing up?
Just barely.
Just barely?
Yeah.
Had 5 last week.
Yeah, we had 5 on.
One had to.
We're just squeaking the quorum.
Counting votes. So we had 5 people out of the, well, we got 2 that don't show up anyway.
Right.
We had 5, but that wasn't enough for.
And just to be perfectly clear, because you're on that board, right, Ronnie?
Yes, I am.
So as the ex officio member, he does count as the quorum. He just doesn't have a voting power. but he does count as a quorum.
So, but unfortunately, it means that you have a
But there
quorum,
wasn't
but if anything
enough. There
comes
was
up.
only
that-
5 of us.
Right.
If there's,
Not.
if there's
anything
5 of
else.
you and one can't vote.
Yeah.
You don't.
That brings you down to 4.
Because even if you're unanimous, you still don't
And
meet.
the other person.
By the state regs, they can have their meeting, Bob.
They can have their meeting,
Right.
but they can't vote on
Can't
anything.
vote on the minutes.
Right.
Can't vote on it.
Right, so,
Right, that's what I meant. I'm sorry. Thank you for
Okay.
clearing that up.
and then I did have a question of, has anybody reached out to the 2 that aren't showing and find out what their intentions are?
I don't know. That was when Tiffany was doing it. I think she had talked to Megan. I don't know for sure myself. I'd have to check with Megan on it, but
Megan, do you know if any letters or phone calls were sent out to those 2 people?
Yes, I've tried to reach out to the members several times.
And you've received no
email.
response?
No.
Okay,
I did receive a response from one of the 2 that they weren't going to be able to make the last meeting. That's the
okay.
only, that's the only.
What is, does anybody know what the process is for removing people from a commission or a board?
Well, they do used to have a policy that if you missed three in a row or whatever.
3 consecutive?
Send you on your way. That used to be. I don't know what the policy is now, but
They
that,
send the word up to us and then we,
yeah,
we vote.
bring it up and say, well, look, we have some people that don't want to show up.
right.
And all we're interested in is a quorum.
Right, so I understand that. So would it be beneficial if we had the board send those 2 people a letter asking them if they're going to fulfill their agreement, and if not, to please resign so we can fill those seats with somebody?
That sounds like
How
a very good
many-
suggestion.
How many months or meetings have they missed
Quite a few.
altogether? I mean consecutively.
Have they been to any?
we had,
Not for quite a while.
Okay,
One
had
of
a
those people
beginning of it,
only went
but-
to 1 meeting.
yeah.
Okay.
all right, then they should,
I would say if the person who's only been to one meeting, I would say as a board, we remove them now.
right.
And then we open
exactly.
up, we either do one or 2 things, in my opinion. We knock the number of board members or commission members down to where it's easier to have a quorum. We go from 9 to 7, or those numbers just pop in my head. And then we remove that one person who's been to one meeting in a year or however long it's been. And then the person who said they couldn't make the last one, I assume it's probably not the same person. Then we send them a letter and say, hey, what are your intentions? And then at that point, we can remove them.
Okay,
To
so,
be fair about it, as far as letting people on these things.
right,
But Ronnie, if they're not showing up, how much more fair do you be?
That's what I was gonna say. They have
Yeah.
to show up.
Yeah.
to Make a quorum.
And if they've missed more than 3 consecutive meetings, I mean,
Well, that's what it
One thing
used
I
to
would
be.
suggest, I mean, there's 2 different, we got to separate the issues, right?
I understand.
Are we removing people that aren't showing up? And we really
Lack of
do owe it to them, even if we believe there's no excuse, there may be. Let's find out from them why they're not showing up. If they don't answer the question, then we remove them. But the second half of that is to change the number. And I think first, there may be other people in town who want to serve on that
If
commission
there's
and
enough
can't because
interest
there
in the
isn't.
thing to keep it at 9, it should stay at 9.
That is my
If not, then
point.
I don't
Okay.
mind dropping.
And we as a board were talking down there saying that if we let it go for another, because the stuff's coming up, we'll see if there's only going to be one person that ever applies for it, or if we had more. If we had more, that would be good. We could actually
put 2 or 3 people
put
on.
more in. But
Okay.
if only one's applying, I mean, that's going to be a decision at that point.
All right.
I mean, we could wait till our next meeting next month to see.
And when is your meetings?
It'll be.
Is it the first, second, or third?
It's the first week.
The first
Yeah,
week of the
first
month?
Tuesday.
Okay.
So.
So why don't we do that suggestion that I made? Why don't we send out letters and see if we get a response, put it on our next meeting. And if we don't hear back from either one of them, then we can remove them and move forward. Does that sound fair?
It sounds logical.
Logical? Is everybody okay with that? Do we need a motion or anything?
I don't think so. I think we just need to,
Letter of
we'll need a
intent.
motion when we decide to.
Okay.
remove it.
Tim, would you-
Next Meeting.
Work with Megan on that letter and from the board, and
Sure.
I'll stop by and sign it, or Mike can sign it, and we'll send it right out to those 2 people. Does that sound fair?
That sounds good.
Okay. Anything else?
Just remember.
So that was, we're just trying to get so we can make sure we keep it. If somebody else misses, we're gonna be
So we can.
not having one.
Okay,
And nothing wrong with calling
That's fine.
them also. I mean, a letter is good because then it's official.
Right.
There's nothing preventing us from.
I would hope that if somebody had a medical issue or something, they would let somebody know.
Right.
You
Having a
know,
problem.
certainly if there's a medical
There's
issue.
been a lot of meetings,
Yep.
so.
I mean, it's one thing if somebody missed a meeting, but if you guys had some other stuff going on the side and they were helping you work that, at least they're still being involved. But if they're not being involved at all,
Right,
I guess that's
I think until we
Cut and
hear
dry.
from them, it's we're all speculating.
right.
Right.
That's what.
So, I mean, there could be reasons they couldn't get a hold of us. I don't know.
right.
They were
Okay.
Kidnapped and
Abducted by aliens.
there could be a reason. We need to talk to them.
Turkeys. and
Thank you so much for coming in. Hopefully we can
problem.
get this straightened out for you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
We appreciate all the work that you do.
You
Thank
guys
you.
have a good night too.
You as well. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
All right, moving on to salt prices. Joel sent an email to everybody about the salt prices for the 2021 and 22. American Rock was $73 per ton. Morton salt was $81.55 and Appalachia salt was $84. Joel is recommending to go with American for $73.
Make a motion to follow our road foreman's recommendation.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Thank you. All right, moving on to employee benefits. Tim?
Yeah. We've had inquiries from, we heard it a few weeks ago, when we went over the policy about vision. And there's been some other interest in dental. And so what I did is I reached out to VLCT to get prices for those types of benefits added to what we currently offer, which is health insurance. And in amongst doing that as well, they spoke to me, VLCT, in regards to short-term and long-term disability. So I received quotes on that as well. And that's in this piece of paper that I sent around earlier with the breakdown. What we want to make sure we're evaluating with each one of these, so it's not a whole package deal. Each of those is something that we can determine whether we want to offer or not. And we'll go through each one. And what we want to make sure we're understanding is, one, do we want to offer it? Two, who will be covered? Excuse me. And then what is the contribution? If we're able to adjust that for each one, if this is something we want to move forward with. So for instance, dental insurance. Now, what I will say with dental and eye insurance as a caveat is MVP also offers plans in addition to these that I quoted. I didn't go down that route when I was getting pricing because you have to have health insurance. So if you didn't have an MVP, if you weren't signed up for health insurance, you couldn't even have dental.
Can't get a rider from them.
Right, right. So what I did is I went through the VLCT to get the policies that they offer that are all standalones essentially, so they can all sit on their own. For dental insurance, the way I catered this is I made this best case for the employee, worst case cost-wise for the town. So I wanted us to make sure we were looking at the worst case for what it would cost us. And if we change that, then it would only allow that cost to go smaller, which is good.
Okay.
So for dental insurance, the plan I chose, there was 3 you could choose from. I chose the one that's the most often picked by other municipalities, which is the second, sort of the middle of the road plan. What they require is that you have to pay the premium for all full-time employees who are eligible. And it lines up with our personnel policy. That's sort of why we had to do that first. And then we could do this, because now we have in our policy that full-time employees and elected officials, if they choose and if it's granted, may have insurance. So what that means for us is we currently have 11 full-time employees, including Julie and Ellen, who we would have to cover the premium for at this point. Okay. What I've done on here is there's one per, basically, the way we have it now is we have the road, the general, and then the wastewater. For each of those categories, I have one person who's getting double coverage for them and then their spouse, only to make it look representative of what may possibly happen. I didn't want to keep it exactly where we were at in case someone, all of a sudden, everyone signs up type of thing. That brings us to $6,069, basically, if we were to offer dental insurance to those employees.
And that's paying 100%.
Correct. So now the way it works is we're required to pay 100% of the employee, but we can adjust what we pay for any additional dependents on that person's
But
plan.
we don't pay 100% of the health insurance.
Right, 66 and 2/3.
Right.
Right. No, I'm just saying, I'm making a point on that, that's all.
Correct.
So-
Yeah, that's true, but we are required in this plan to pay the full 100%.
Plan holder,
Correct.
right.
Yes.
But we're not required to offer it. Is that correct?
Right.
Correct. Yeah, it's if you
So if
choose,
you offer it at all, we can't offer it at a discount. We have to either pay the full boat for dental, vision, limited, standard, limited, life and accidental death and disability,
no.
or we
So
don't offer it.
Because I know.
No, he's just saying that we have to pay 100%
Of
of
the
the dental.
right.
They
They don't have a plan where it's like 80/20? Or,
No, so all of
Town set
those,
up that
so
way.
when it comes to the contribution, that's up to the town to decide.
Okay.
For these plans, except for the dental one. That's how they keep the premium as low as they're able to, is because they require the full-time employees to have coverage.
so if we say yes, that we're gonna take the dental insurance and we're gonna pay 100% of the premium, and we have 11 full-time employees that can take it, and say only 5 take it, are you saying that we have to pay for all 11,
Yes.
even though 6 of them are not taking it?
They would all have dental insurance.
They all
Yes.
fall under the
Right.
main policy,
Yes,
underwriters.
Because they could have insurance through their spouse or something.
could, yes.
And in the state of Vermont, and I know this is true because this happened to me, my husband has insurance and I was on his insurance, but because there's a new law in the state of Vermont, if your spouse works somewhere where it's offered, they no longer have to carry you. And they dropped me and I had to pick up my own insurance.
The health insurance though,
Correct, yes,
not dental and eye.
right. That I do pay for myself. Okay, just so that you know that that's out there.
Right. State
Right.
employees do it too.
Right, but I think that only does apply
Does
to health.
health insurance? Okay,
Right, we can verify that. That's definitely something to check on.
okay.
Portions.
I just find it hard to swallow that maybe we have to pay for everybody and only like 5 or 6 people take it.
Yes.
That's a little
I agree with
hard
that.
to
It's-
swallow.
Yep, I hear you. Yep. Yeah, but that's not something that we have any control over.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
The only control we have is offer it or not offer it.
Correct.
If we offer it, is that correct?
So the way it could work is we would offer it, and yes, all full-time employees would have dental insurance. However, if any of those employees wanted to add their spouse or add their kids, we could say that's up to you as a self-pay.
Right. But just
But as
just on
far
the
as their
employees.
insurance, period, they're a liability of us,
Correct.
Yep.
not their children,
Right.
or what have you. That's what we're talking, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Just curious.
So
We don't, I'm sorry, we don't currently cover dental, is that correct?
Correct. The only thing that the town offers now is health insurance.
Health insurance, yeah.
Sorry.
no, that's fine. So basically, if it costs the town $30 a month for dental insurance, and we were going to say we're going to give, allow family members or spouse or kids or whatever, then that person would have to pay $30 a month. If we set it up that way, when we could set it up any way we want, that person would have the option to pay the $30 a month for their family member.
Right, so it's, for instance, if you look at the
Or a
dental,
percentage of it.
if you look at the dental, right, you could do it. If you look at the dental insurance piece and you see the single, 2 people and family.
Right.
So let's say, for instance, there's a family. It's $123.30 a month.
Right.
The town would pay $37 and then they would pay the difference in order to have family coverage if the
Okay.
town didn't offer it.
Okay, I see that. Yeah, I saw that. I was just trying to simplify it.
Yes.
Okay.
Where did you throw the disability in there?
That's in a different
Well, hang
section.
on, we're
Yeah, that's-
on
We're just on dental
Okay.
right now.
Right now, we're working on
No, I
it.
Just on dental.
Because normally disability is, if I want disability insurance, I gotta pay for that.
That's
It's
correct.
not offered by the state. It's through an underwriter of the same
Correct.
thing or Aflac, but
Yes.
On the
Yeah, we'll
dental,
get there. Yeah.
it says here, I assume E plus SP equals employee plus spouse. So, but I thought we were saying that this was just for the employee. If they wanted to do their family, the family would have to pay for it.
Well, we haven't decided that.
Yeah, that hasn't been decided.
So first of all, we need to decide if we want to carry it or not
Yeah,
and to offer it to the employees.
right.
So it's going to cost yearly $6,069.48 for 11 full-time
In year one.
employees in year
You
one.
got 11 full-time employees? Mm-hmm. For you?
Yep.
We got the
Including,
road crew and we got a couple down the sewer plant, but I didn't.
You have Tim and you have
Megan.
Megan and you have
Ellen.
and you have Julie.
yeah,
You got
they're all
5,
listed on the
5,
left.
5 and 3 is 8. And you got Megan, so, all right.
11, there's 11. Yep.
Okay, just curious.
Yep.
We said if we offer it, we have to pay for it for all of our employees.
Correct.
They opt to do it or not.
Correct.
We don't currently provide it.
Correct.
No.
My opinion on,
Why would they do it like that?
yeah, I don't understand.
I don't understand that either. I would think that you'd have to pay the premium for the people that chose it,
correct,
not to pay for 11 people and only 5 people use it.
right,
Plus, it's not split. It's all goes to the town.
right, but I guess that part, the town has to pay for it up front. We can choose to take and make it an 80-20 or whatever. I
Not for
think it's-
dental.
No,
No.
not for the cost of the employee.
No, not for the employee.
Okay,
We pay 100% for the employee.
all right, I just,
Just make
Okay.
things clear.
So
Right.
I'm gonna,
okay.
And we don't have to make decisions tonight. Like you can ask questions, we can get
Right.
the answers. So
Did you
This is
poll
a-
anybody to see if they would want
Instead of
dental insurance? Did you poll anybody, any of the 11?
I spoke on side conversations. I did not like send a blast email.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's one thing we should do.
But I would send an email out and say, would you be interested if it was offered to you dental? Would you take it or do you already have it?
Okay.
so let me ask a question, Tim. Is the eye insurance set up the same? We have to pay 100%?
No, so the eye insurance. Let me write my notes really fast. The eye insurance is voluntary only, so that means only the people who want it sign up and get it. And there's no stipulation on how it's paid or not paid by the town.
Right.
So on here, what I did is I assumed the town paid everything, just so you would have the idea
Right,
of how
we
much
have
it
the
costs.
worst case scenario.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
No, that's fine.
Yes.
And so, sorry. So the $1,487.52 for vision for the eye coverage is all 11. That's not a piece.
No, that's 11.
No, so I did, I included, if everyone took it,
Right.
plus one additional person per group.
$1,500.
Right.
So I just broke that down. So I took the dental insurance at the 6,069, added the 1,487, broke it down by 11. That's, and so if we covered 100% of the dental, which we have to
Yeah.
for the employees, and we covered 100% of the eye insurance, that's $687
Per employee.
roughly per employee per year.
Per year.
To have that perk, you know, to put it down into
Yeah, and to be clear, he's not suggesting that we do 100. He just wanted to show you.
No, but he's just
Right.
giving us
Right,
numbers.
so that's why right.
So if-
We could do it we could do, the dental, we have to pay 100%.
Yep.
The eye insurance, we don't. So we could do the eye insurance, which is relatively cheap, so I wouldn't even do it that way. But we could do it the same way we do the health insurance, is 66%. And they pay the other percentage.
We chose.
If we chose to do that. I was just breaking it down into layman's terms, Bob, so that we could kind of look at it. Because when you look at it as $7,500 or whatever it is,
Right, so there's,
7,600.
so, and you're looking at this sheet, Bob, which gives that. So if this sheet as it is now was fully implemented, it would cost the town $17,671.
Yeah, that was, I understand that.
More
Yeah.
More.
than what we're paying now for insurance.
Correct, and that includes.
That's with the disability though.
Correct, that's everything.
Divide that by 11,
And that includes
please.
the
Thank you.
change in the health insurance premium for this year, which is $1,000.
I have to say, it just
$1,000?
It's nice, huh?
generally speaking, I've never worked for a company where I didn't have to pitch in for any one of these things.
Correct.
They've
Correct.
covered 100%, except the Navy.
Yeah. Something service. Yeah, you're right.
That's the Navy. But then they also pulled my wisdom teeth against my will.
Didn't want you to get murdered.
Well, my gut feeling, well, it's not my gut feeling, excuse me, my feeling on the insurance portion of this on the surface is that, and I'm looking at it from, I'm looking at it from our wastewater treatment and our road crew facility people more than, it's hard and it's gonna be extremely hard, trust me. CDL laws are changing.
Yeah.
On February 22nd, they changed totally. So in order to get a quality employee that's gonna stay long-term, you either gotta increase your pay, I think substantially,
Or offer better.
or you offer some more benefits. And I think dental is a huge perk, huge for an employee. And I think paying the dental for our employees, and then the employee having the option to pay the difference to add their family or their spouse. I think that should be up to them. Okay, the eye insurance is relatively inexpensive. And I'm not sure that I would even worry about breaking that down right now. But I think we have to look at this long term because our road crew, they're not getting any younger. And there, one of our wastewater treatment facility operators is not getting any younger, and we're gonna have to try to bring quality people in. And my goal would be to bring them in long term, not somebody who's gonna work here for a year or 2 years.
Right.
I
Get their teeth.
I agree. I agree that we need to do something to make sure that we're keeping our employees. But then there's also the argument that one is not having any skin in the game is going to change behavior. And if let's say every employee in Vermont at all these towns were to take the 100%, at 100%, it changes your calculus as to whether or not you're going to go to the dentist or whether or not you're going to go to the doctor or whether you're going to seek out those services. If they're free, why not? And that's going to increase the cost year over year. And that's what's going to happen. I mean, that's absolutely going to
It's an
happen.
absolute fact.
Yeah, that's true. It changes behavior.
I worked in a place
I
where
think
they offered dental insurance and everybody went to the dentist.
you need
Or that they
to,
never went.
I think they have to have some skin in the game. I want to offer them something, but but the dental, the way the rules are written, just bugs the heck out of me. Is that we can't even make it. If we offer the dental, it's 100%, and that's.
I know one thing, I'm not shoveling the roads.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You gotta
Good for you
be,
to say that.
What's that?
It's good for you to say that.
I'm not going out with a shovel. I'll drive the truck if you want to fling the sand, Ronnie.
if that's gonna be the difference between keeping somebody or not keeping somebody, I would rather pay them more than to have them
That's
get
right.
free
I'd rather
benefits.
have them
You
do
would
their
need
own
to,
business.
you need, I think on any of these, and it bugs me that the state has kind of forced our hand. Either we can do it, or either we do it and we pay 100%, or we don't do it.
I've never heard of that nonsense of
just-
100%. It's usually like 80-20 or something, but
Here's the sheet that was in
I
there.
agree. I understand that you look through it and everything. That's,
The other option for dental is we could look into the dental offered by MVP. And if you want dental insurance, you have to have the MVP piece. I don't know what the rates are and I don't know how it works. So I'd have to,
Well, I'm saying, so I just did a little bit more math. If we were to raise our employees' wages by $2 an hour times 40 hours a week, times 52 weeks, is $4,100 versus,
plus tax, you have to add.
well, that's wages only, it's 4,100.
And Beamers and all that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So if we were to offer the insurance, I mean, they're going to get a raise of some sort anyway, let's face it, right? Because it's just what happens.
They get a raise every year with insurance, no matter whether they like it or not. Whether we give them a raise or not, they get a raise.
but people don't look
Oh,
at the
insurance.
benefits as a raise.
Insurance works that way.
I know that and I understand that, but I'm telling you as
I know what you're telling me.
people
All I'm
don't
saying is, they get a raise, period.
think of it as a raise when they have benefits.
Well, they need to understand that's part of it.
That's right.
Because if they had to pay for it outright. That's what,
And if we offered this plan here, and I'm not saying we offer this plan, I'm saying, okay, we look at the MVP portion and we do something different, we can certainly look into different things. But if we offered 100% of these across the board, it's $680 an employee versus $4,000.
yeah.
Do the math.
It's not,
That's-
not a hard.
But we're not going to decide tonight. We can think about it and we can do some more.
Comparing that to a pay raise, I don't think is a valid comparison. Because
And we
with the
don't
pay
usually
All I'm-
talk $2 an hour.
All I'm saying, yeah, but all I'm saying is to get a CDL qualified driver after February 22nd, the CDL qualifications change drastically. Like, it's incredible the changes that happen on February 22nd. So in order for someone to obtain their CDL now, it's hard enough, you know, and there's a process. After the 22nd of February, you have to have a federally certified instructor. That instructor has to have a federally certified training facility to train their drivers. Okay, this is something we really need to be thinking about, because I'm pretty sure we don't want a bunch of 1-tons running around trying to sand and salt and plow and haul gravel.
We did a few years ago.
So Tim, I know this is a lot of work, but could you look into the Delta Dental? I mean, excuse me, through the MVP
Yep.
and see if there's any kind of program out there where it could be like 80-20 or something. Or even just paying for the ones that accept it, not the whole 11 if only 5 people take it.
I mean, even where I work, there's a limit on how much you can use, right?
Right. There's a cap on it.
There's a cap on how much you can use, and
Yep.
as I get older, I get closer to that cap.
Well, now they
No pun
they used to give you 2 free cleanings a year, but that gets pulled out of that cap now.
Yeah, you only
Out
allow
of the state
one.
insurance,
Yep.
so.
Okay, Tim, thank you. If you would just check into that. All right, and then we went from I down to short-term and long-term life option.
So are there any
We didn't
questions
talk
on?
about I, did we?
Right.
That's where you are.
I thought it was pretty well
No.
simple and it was kind of cheap. That person could only, like, if only 5 people wanted to take it, they could take it and we only have to pay for those 5 people. Is that correct? We could also offer it, but have the employee pay for it, correct?
Well, you could, right,
Portion.
or a portion.
Or a portion. I think I carry it through Stewart's and I only pay, I think it's $5.85 a week or something like that.
Jesus Christ, only $9 a month here.
I must be getting screwed.
I don't know, I'm just kidding.
But I mean, it's pretty standard to go 1/3, 2/3, kind of like the health insurance.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think if we're offering this, any of these, where we can, I think the 1/3, 2/3 is just about what every employee pays everywhere.
Well,
right.
Pretty standard.
On 20 hours a minimum, that's gonna increase the number of employees also.
So
I'm reading that
follow
right.
the same pattern as health insurance. What's that, Jamie? Sorry.
The 20-hour minimum, that's gonna increase the number of people eligible for that versus.
So we're talking about eye insurance,
Oh,
not disability.
thought-
Yep.
The disability.
You like that disability.
Yeah.
Mentioned disability.
Working.
I mentioned disability. I thought we were done with I. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm sorry, hopefully.
I'm stirring the pot again, Mike. What the heck?
I don't mean to go backwards here, but on the health insurance, what do we offer today? I mean, I know we offer it's 1/3, 2/3, right?
That- yep,
We pay
that's-
2/3. Is that employee only?
No, that's
That's for
up to anything, family, up to the family plan, any plan,
Okay.
any plan chosen.
Yeah. We pay 2/3.
Okay, I got you. And then the
which
different
is pretty
plans are
good,
here.
as far as I'm concerned. Yeah,
I think that's good.
Okay.
I like that, even the eye stuff is, what are you gonna do? Go to the eye doctor every 6 weeks or whatever,
No, everybody should go once a year. And if you're on CDL, isn't it once a year? Or is it more?
And they can get an eye exam, that's right. They may not need anything else.
Right.
Maybe all they need is an eye exam. All I'm saying is, and also there should be something contributory from the person getting it.
Oh, I agree.
Right, well, and just remember, these are very similar, like to the health insurance where you go and there's a copay and there's
Yeah.
Right.
That's good.
Right, their whole entire visit is not covered by the town.
Right.
This is just, or by that insurance plan. This is just offering a potential for them to have insurance.
right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Now we can move on to short-term, long-term disability.
Right, so, where to start on that? So these plans, that I had quoted again is for all full-time employees. And honestly, I'll have to go back and ask, because I don't off the top of my head remember on the long-term if you can do a share thing.
Well, I didn't know if this was on the job injury or say you went home and decided to rake your roof off in the snowstorm.
So, well, it's anything, the way I understand it is so the long-term and the short-term disability, what sparked my interest in pursuing this was, one, the age of our workforce
Yes.
and the very recent situation we had with Julie. Those types of things would fall under this. And when I spoke to Jill at VLCT, and I kind of gave you that little blurb, and that was the reason she always encourages towns to consider it seriously, because when you have someone who's an integral part of your team, you don't want to let them go in a situation like that. You want to work with them. And what this does is takes that burden off the town if that event should happen, because then it's all managed by the insurance company, their medical situation, and they're getting an income, 60% of their income. And then the town can focus on either filling the role temporarily without having to cover having two people. And
Because we pay workman's comp insurance also. That's I guess is where I'm.
well,
That's
workman's comp
workman's comp is if they get hurt on the job.
Right.
Well, that's what I was asking, if this was on the job stuff or is this at home stuff?
it's
Anything.
anything.
It could be home,
That's where I
it could
was
be work.
going with that.
Yeah.
Usually most places will give you a short-term disability. They'll pay for that and give you, and then you have to pay for long-term
The option, right?
option, yeah.
The life and accidental death and dismemberment, they always throw in with this. You aren't obligated to do that one. I just put it in so that you guys saw everything that I did. It doesn't seem, it's an easy scratch off in my mind,
just-
Yeah.
because it's not even that much coverage for the premium.
Okay,
Short term, you get 50% of your pay.
So there's limits on this stuff. So let's see here for the short term. Short-term, so it's 60% of your pay.
60%
Up to
of your pay.
up to a max of 25 per week,
For 6 months.
for 12 weeks. And then after 12 weeks, the long-term kicks in.
Yeah, if you signed up for both, you have to sign up for both?
No, we don't have to offer them both. So what is that? 3 months, 4 months?
Yeah. 3.
Don't we have, on the insurance, if somebody gets hurt on the job or something, they have a certain amount of time they can get disability?
Well, I think
Just on
that's what
regular-
Jamie is saying. That's when work comp would come into play.
That's what I'm
And I don't
saying.
know what
They
the-
get something for that?
I mean,
6
I'm
months,
sure there's something to
something like
get.
that.
I think what happens in these cases is once the accident occurs, then it's figured out which, is it more applicable to a work comp claim or is it a short-term or a long-term disability?
Well, I'm just curious, 'cause I mean, I've worked in different places and I've seen different operations, how it works.
Okay, so, Tim, can you, do the MVP and then put that on our next meeting and then we can discuss this more and everybody can take this home and look at it and go over it again and come up with any questions and send them to Tim so he can be prepared for our next meeting with his answers. And then maybe we can make a decision that way.
Always prepared.
I have one question, Tim.
Increase equals 0. That would be awesome.
I wish.
Tim, on those insurances, is it a one-time open enrollment, like one time a year?
Yes, it would be.
So
Period.
they couldn't get on it now, would have to wait to the fiscal year when we,
No, so because we're starting new, the way these could work is we could start coverage on January 1st.
okay.
We work fast. But again, these are things that can be rolling, like we can do dental and,
How are we
July
budgeted
1st.
for that line item?
so remember, so this is all new, so none of this is budgeted.
Right.
Right.
So
That's
those
my
are things
point.
that, right.
As far as changing it, it's gonna be that's gonna.
Well, that's,
Change
which is
in our-
totally fine. We could implement this July 1st. So
Right.
it's go in the next fiscal year. I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
I just think we got to do something to entice employees.
No, I agree.
Potential employees.
Work on keeping our good employees. I have no problem with that. I just,
Yep.
as far as how we're gonna,
Because
implement.
it's not budgeted now at all, and we are already,
Right.
So
squeezing the budget.
I'm not going out plowing and sanding for 1,500 a year, are you?
Well, I can tell you, if we
$1,500
offer the
who do you think
free
plows for
dental,
that?
we're still giving them pay raises. That's going to
Well,
happen.
that's true.
Oh,
No, that's
absolutely.
true. But so is every other potential employer.
Can we, I also assume there's limits on the coverage, right? It's not unlimited dental for.
No, there's, I sent all that information.
That's in here?
It was in the
No,
email?
It was in the
Oh,
email.
Had the
packet.
Coverage lists and everything.
Yep.
I just don't remember all the numbers up. in my
Yeah.
head. But yeah, I mean, that's similar to what an average plan.
Okay. Are we good, guys? Can we move along?
Yep.
So town hall update. Is that Tim or Mike or both?
Not me this time. I don't have a lot.
I don't either. It's been humming along over there.
We're, I know the sidewalks.
Only been a week, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I know. It hasn't been two.
Sidewalks.
Shouldn't have changed too much in a week or so, right?
I don't know. I don't think they've poured yet, but by the looks of it today, they're really close to pouring the sidewalks.
They got the roof put on over the vault.
Yep.
It's a full thing now.
Yeah, there's not a huge bunch of updates on that. It's some of the grading on the parking lot, it's pretty much where it's gonna be.
Yeah, Dickie said it was done this morning.
Gotta do a little bit of final grading after they get the sidewalks poured in there. I think they're doing the lower sidewalk at the same time, if I'm not mistaken, so that they're done.
All at once.
Yeah, so the sidewalks will be all done. We're still waiting on the pipe, which is whatever, so that we can there's some drainage that has to be done on the lower parking lot.
Yeah.
So depending on when we get the pipe, the lower parking lot may not be done until, ground freezing. I don't know. And when we checked I talked to Joel a week or so ago. The answer when he asked on where the drainage pipe was that we were getting is your guess is as good as mine, which, not from Joel, from our supplier.
Right.
That's the answer that Joel got, was your guess is as good as ours when it's gonna be here, so. Which is a problem everywhere.
Yep.
It's nothing,
And obviously, everybody out there is aware of all the price increases and stuff. We are doing the best we can. The guys are doing the best they can. We can't stop price increases. It's everywhere, just so everybody's aware of that. Do you have anything to add, Tim, on the town office?
I do not.
Okay. Moving along to public comment. If there's anybody out there, please raise your hand and remember to state your full name. Thank you.
Jim?
Megan?
Jim?
Jim.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry. My name's Jim Kosis, and I really, I'm at the point of I've got to apologize to my wife before I tell her that I'm going to go on the line and say something, because I'm very confused now with this whole town office, and I thought you guys would have a little better presentation tonight based on the documentation that was in the packet last month or last week or the last meeting, where it is showing an overage. Okay. I appreciate, yes, we know that prices are rising, but if I remember back in March 2nd, there was a ballot article that said that the town office building at an estimate of $865,000. Your paperwork now documents are saying we're over $1 million. I know we need a town office, but something or someone is not being straightforward with the taxpayers. I'm not sure who can answer the question of, yes, we have to pay more because of prices, and we're going to go out there and ask you for more money. Be honest with us. Let us know. I'm not going to wait until it's all done, and then you turn around and say, we can't do phase 2. We should know this number now. We should know what's happening. If you need more money, ask. I'm afraid with a lot of stuff that's been going on, we're hiding the forensic. There's a proposal out there that we give a commission or a consultation fees to the lawyers. We don't know what is happening in this town behind the door of the town office. And I'm sorry, you may get sick of me. You may be disturbed at what I'm bringing up, but I'm here speaking for the people. And if they don't want me to speak, I'm willing to wait and have them call me. But something is happening in the past 2 years that has really made me very disturbed on what's happening. And it was a nice project that's going forward. Yes, we may have needed an architecture. We may have needed an engineer. Someone should have come up and said, okay, let's do all this way. But I'm just getting tired over the past year. I don't have time to watch you guys. Someone's got to watch. I'm sorry, but you guys have got to come out and say, are we at $1 million now based on the projection of the costs? Thank you very much. I'd like to hear that answer tonight. Thanks.
Thank you for your comments. Megan, is there anybody else?
so let's,
Oh, okay.
Can we answer or can't we?
no, I think we can answer them, Tim. I think that we presented a cost analysis on last Thursday night that, and I'm not going to debate this with you back and forth, Jim. We're going to answer your question, and that's going to be
we're
kind
gonna
of
move on.
for the night.
Well, first of all,
We're not, Jim, if you want an answer, I'm prepared to give you an answer from Tim and my perspective. If
I
you
just
want
want
to
to say,
debate,
I
if you want to
appreciate
debate this,
it.
if you want to debate this back and forth, we'll set up another time at another meeting. Okay?
I
So
appreciate it.
I think we set up a cost analysis last week that was public information. So when somebody says we're hiding something, it ruffles my feathers.
Mine too.
We gave a cost analysis last week of the entire project. I think Tim has that broken down pretty extensively. And I don't think there's a single hidden thing in there. We had some contingencies put in there for some potential, maybe some cost overruns now that in the foreseeable future, we don't know. But as far as that goes, our cost analysis that was presented last week is an extremely accurate cost of where we are projected to be at the end of this project. Tim, is that
It's very true. And it's broken into phases, and phase 2 is through the completion of the project.
and
Correct,
it's all in that cost analysis that we presented last week, if I'm not mistaken.
correct.
Yeah.
Can I ask one question?
Sure.
So over the amount, right now, we're at 200,000 overage. Possibly the money coming in from the Historical Society is 25,000. Not sure if the build out is included in the estimates. We have another 20 contingency that we may not have to use. Where am I gonna help pay for the $150,000 that's a shortage?
What does the school system do, Jim, when they're over on different things? What does the SVSU do?
Raise the taxes.
I'm sorry, I can't answer that question in my capacities right now. I'm
I
talking.
guess where I'm gonna go with this, Jim, is if you were really in a position, I think in March, I think I would challenge you to put a petition in to run for the select board and jump in here and see how easy this is to make all of this stuff happen. Make the forensic audit happen, because we're hiding something there. Make the town hall project stay right at $868,000 or whatever it was. Because if it's so easy, jump right in both feet and have at it.
I'm not saying it's easy. I just want to ask the question, who's gonna pay for this year?
We are working the issue. We don't have a complete answer on that yet of what a number might be.
And our budget season is coming up. And like I said, I don't want to debate this, so this is where I'm going to be done.
So,
Our
yeah.
budget season is coming up, and that's something that we as a 5-member board have to work pretty diligently on to try to keep our costs for the entire town down for the best that we can do for the upcoming fiscal year.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Thank you, Jim. Have a good night. Megan, is there anybody else out there in the public? Please raise your hand. State your full name.
Mindy Joe?
Mindy?
Mindy.
Hi, this is Mindy Joe. How are you guys tonight?
Good, thank
Hey,
you.
Mindy.
How are you?
Wonderful.
I'm all right. I'm still chasing my tail. So I got homework either for me or you guys. I'm not sure who. But trying to get a hold of the person that purchased lot 12. I've finally made contact. However, he bought the place at a tax sale and it's not in his name. And then I find out there's $999 owed on, which has a new town water bill. I have no clue about the sewer bill. However, he did send, since I sent him a lease, he didn't sign the lease, but he sent me 2 rent payments. My thing is this, it's an abandoned trailer with all this money owed on it. And then, now I was trying to thought, I'm sorry, be patient. How is it not in his name? And is there a way to find out when that's to happen? Because he bought it, it's been over, oh my God. I believe he purchased it in 2019 before Harvey even passed away. It's
Wouldn't that
still
be
not in his
Julie?
name.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be Julie?
as far as a deed of record.
Well, yeah, and the listers would have it. However, the deed would be in Julie.
I would suggest that you call Julie and ask her, because I believe that she is the one that has to
Has to record it.
record all the paperwork.
Okay, now, all right, there was another question I wanted to ask you guys, because I'm just, like I said, I'm still chasing tails. It's like I make 2 steps forward and I get thrown 5 steps back. I have not yet seen or heard. I mean, I heard from the listers, have not seen them. I didn't get an email out to Mike. It completely escaped my brain. I was hoping Mike maybe could get back to me, because I've got so much on my plate right now. It's overwhelmed, as sure as you guys do too. My neighbor went and got a dumpster. Okay, she forked it out of her own pocket, because it's just, we've got people still dumping things that need to be dumped, and if I don't get it picked up, then we got still more dumping. And I found another pile of garbage down here, which I got to bring Fred down, because we have somebody here that's storing garbage behind their shed. So if Mike and Fred can make time to get down here so I can show them all this, and maybe they can tell them they got to do something, would be great.
Okay. Mike,
Mindy did, Rebecca
I
sent me
didn't
a message.
email you, like I said, I just
No, that's
completely
okay.
skipped my brain.
That's all right.
My
And
dad,
just-
let me explain. I got my dad here. He's in Albany Med at the moment. Okay, I don't know when he'll be returning. Then we add in the park, and I have somebody else to just throw a cat out on the railroad tracks near my yard. And then I've reached out to the person that had the fire to find out what's going on there. 2 emails, no response. I'm starting to get a little really overwhelmed, and I somehow, some way, maybe somebody else's brain can help me figure out how to get from point A to point B. I've been screaming for help, and I understand I took on this responsibility, and it's one hell of a responsibility, but nobody seems to be on the same page. Nobody.
It's 3 separate
Well,
issues.
I think a couple things, Mindy Jo. When you get the email to Fred and I, we'll do our best, as the best that we can for you. I'm going to be away next week. So, I'm just throwing that out there. Rebecca sent me a message just now. She emailed you some information. She wants to know if you got that information.
I have not received anything from Rebecca.
Okay.
And my email is my full name, but Joe is J-O, no E on it. Mindy Jo Harrington at Comcast.net.
So could you do us a favor tomorrow so that the information goes to the right place? Will you send an email just to, so that we have the correct email address to the info?
Yeah, I've emailed
info@townofpownal.org.
I have sent many of emails at info and to you and to Miss Rawlings. Straight to you guys.
I'm trying to get Rebecca the right information, and she's texting me here. So, if you could just send an email to info@townofpownal.org, it'll get to Rebecca, and she can get the email to you. It's about a grant.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And then if you send the email to me and to Fred and I, we can certainly try to, like I said, I'm going to be out of town next week. I'm leaving Sunday. We can certainly get down there, as soon as we can get together and get down there. Both of us obviously have a work schedule, so it's, but Fred and I have been coordinating back and forth on some other things. We're working on some stuff in town, along with Megan's help. So, we certainly can coordinate so the 2 of us can find a time to get down there. And usually what's been working for us is, we've met a couple times on a Friday at 9:30ish, give or take. So, so it would be during the day usually. Just our work schedule. Our work schedules happen to give us that time.
Oh, I completely understand that. And, and I know I sound like a whine ass, and I don't mean to sound like a whine ass, and I don't mean to be a pain in anybody's ass, but I know the potential that Burdick Park has. I remember what it was when I was a kid. It was a beautiful little park. You know what I mean? And I would like to see it get back there, but I seem to.
So would we.
I know. Oh, I know.
So would we. We're all on the same page there, Mindy Joe. I can guarantee you that.
I cringe going down into Alta, because Alta's pretty bad too. However, it's just been let go for so long that it's going to take, probably twice the time to clean it up.
All right.
Working on it. So you have a safe travel, Mr. Gardner.
Thank you.
And you all be safe and God bless.
Thank you. Have a good night, Mindy.
Thank you for your time.
You're
Thank you for your
welcome.
time.
Thank you. Anybody else, Megan? Please raise your hand, state your full name.
There's no one else raising their hand.
Okay. hearing
We
none.
adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.